Good morning, Hawks fans, and welcome back to the Atlanta Sports District. I'm your host, Russell Spence, coming to you the morning after a 130 to 129 overtime thriller of a victory against the Detroit Pistons. So far, Detroit has been a really wonderful team. I am aware that Cade Cunningham was not healthy, but we were still underdogs coming into the day, and a really wonderful team win today to get even, we were up big and then we allowed them to come back. When that sort of thing happens, going into overtime usually does not bode well for the team that gave up the big lead, and yet we were able to sustain the win. And that is something that, again, gives me some hope for the future of this basketball team, not only this season, but moving forward in subsequent seasons, because it's proving that the players we have the proper DNA to be able to withstand adversity that will come when playoff seasons happen, when series aren't going your way, when injury situations aren't going your way. Resiliency is the way that you take care of those issues and continue to win at a high level. Every team has players get injured. Every team has things go wrong. Every team goes down in series. How do you respond? Tonight, we responded very well. Got out to a pretty big lead in the second quarter, gave it all up in the third, and then still ended up winning the game. We're going to get into the key statistics, but first, I would like to discuss the literal travesty that is happening on the Atlanta Hawks right now. I know we won the game, and I wanted to start the podcast being positive. And now I will talk about the absolute buffoonery that is the rotations right now. I am aware we won. I get it. Zachary Richase played less than 10 minutes. Zachary Richase played a total of 9 minutes in tonight's game, and Corey Kispert played 12. It is insane to me to watch the players we put out there with how bad they are playing, and then watch the players who are playing pretty stinking well sitting on their rumps over there next to our coaching staff. Zach has been quite fantastic over the past few weeks. The defense is ridiculously good. The rebounding has been extremely helpful, and the offense is coming along nicely, where he was actually showing some serious progress on a lot of the things we needed him to progress in. And yet we're still playing him 9 minutes. Every single one of those minutes that went to Corey Kispert tonight, if I was the coach, they would have gone to Zachary Richase, and Zach would have played 21 minutes, and he would have played very well in that time. At the same time, we have a backup center who is playing like he's never seen the defensive end of a basketball court before. We're getting bludgeoned in the paint, and we'll talk about those statistics in a second. We have Mo Gay playing 1 minute. And in that 1 minute, we won by 5. It literally went stop, bucket, stop, 3, and then they pulled Mo. That's unacceptable. You cannot continue to play these players the amount of time you've been playing them. When the postseason comes around, if our backup 5 is Jock Landale, we will get swept, because they will destroy him. He does not defend well enough. When the playoffs come around, if we're still playing Corey Kispert 15 minutes a night, roundabout every night on average, they will blow his doors off, and we will lose their minutes every game, and we will get swept. We again went with that horrendous lineup to start the second quarter that has Corey Kispert, CJ McCollum, and Jock Landale in it. It's unacceptable. When you have around 30 games, almost 40 games worth of evidence that this lineup doesn't work at all, Stop playing it. That lineup, since the All-Star break, has a -10 net rating. We do not have another three-man lineup at all that has played any sort of minutes that has a negative net rating at all. Make it make sense why we continue to put that lineup on the floor. I do not get it. I will not get it. It's unacceptable. I understand that we are winning, that we've won 13 of our last 14, that we're playing very well, that we're playing very good basketball. But the problem is that the people who are playing good basketball are having to make up for the absolutely ludicrous decisions that are happening in our rotations. It is not okay. And I've said it multiple times, but if Mo Gay didn't play, I would fire the coaching staff. I would fire the coach. If Zach played 9 minutes and Corey Kispert played 12, that's a fireable offense. I'd walk in his office and I'd relieve him of duty today. And I know, I get it. I completely understand that we're winning games. It's not about that. It's about the fact that we were up 21 points in this game, and they came back and forced overtime almost solely on the back of poor defense. And your two of your 4 best defenders on your whole team played a total of 10 minutes. That is unacceptable. When you see the defensive output that are being put up by these players, you cannot continue to play them. Now, again, if you want to play CJ because the offensive output's been really fantastic, go ahead. But he's the only one that's allowed to be on the court if the defense is going to be that bad. Corey is not having the offensive output enough for his defense to be as bad as it is. Same thing with Jock Landale. They berated the rim tonight, and the majority of that time happened with Jock Landale on the floor because Onyeka was in foul trouble. So let's get into those key statistics and let's show what I mean, how bad the 2-point defense was. Let's start with the field goal percentages. So shooting percentage, we shot the ball very well from 3, 35%, and 48% from the field in totality. That's pretty good. Overall, offense was clicking pretty well. Let's move to theirs. They shot 27% from 3. When a team shoots 27% from 3, you should be holding them to quite a low overall shooting percentage because they're obviously struggling to shoot. So what did they shoot from the field? Oh my goodness, 51%. Do you know how well you have to shoot the ball from 2 in order to have a 51% field goal percentage when you shot 27% from 3? It's remarkable. It's over 60. You had to shoot almost 70% in order to shoot that percentage from 2. Well, what is it that really creates high-level 2-point shooting? Is it shooting long 2s? Or is it shooting things right at the rim, dunking it on people's head, and laying it up? It's going to be option B. And so usually you want a good rim protector in the game when your team is getting bludgeoned in the paint. And yet we played Jock Landale and left our best rim protector on our whole team on the bench, and he only played 1 minute. Again, a 1 minute where he finished +5. Absolutely unacceptable. I know we won. You're probably tuned into the podcast to see what Russell has to say about this great team win. I'm not going to. I'm mad. That is unacceptable. Moving on to the next proponent of success, rebounding. We won the rebounding battle pretty significantly. We had 50 rebounds to their 43. 18 total offensive rebounds to their 14. And you say, well, Russell, obviously Jock must have been doing something, really fantastic in terms of the rebounding battle. That's true. He had 10. He rebounded the ball pretty well, except for the fact that their matchup, the one he was playing the majority of his minutes against, had 14. Completely and totally pushed him around. And when you look at B-Ball Paul only had 0 rebounds. So he won that matchup, except for a lot of times when B-Ball Paul was on the floor, we had Okongwu on the floor because Okongwu better matches up with his size. So yes, we won the rebounding battle, and Jock did have 10, but he lost his matchup rebounding. Not acceptable. If he's not going to give you the one thing he's supposed to be good at, you can't play him because he's definitely not good at the defensive protecting the rim and moving his feet. It's just not acceptable. The next thing, turnover creation and the creativity stats in terms of assists. We only forced 14 team turnovers. We only had 9 total stocks, 8 steals and 1 block. We had 20 turnovers, pretty unacceptable number. So the offense is supposed to get better when you play Kispert and you play Landale. It didn't. And yet, again, we only created 9 stocks. Well, we just got done last game talking about when Mo Gay plays a significant amount of minutes, you're pretty much guaranteed 2 to 3 stocks a game. If we had created 2 more possessions in this game, we win by 5. We don't go to overtime. There's no risk. And the defense at the rims gets better, and we probably win those minutes by more. Or if we had played Zach. Zach's guaranteed pretty significant minutes to get 2 or 3 stocks, steals plus blocks. Give us 2 more possessions. Let's say he created 2 more possessions, a steal and a block. Now we're winning by 10, even if they shot the exact same percentage, which they would not have. That is my problem. That it took some superstar play from other players to get us to win this game. And we'll talk about those players in a minute. But at the end of the day, we shouldn't ask them to be Superman. We should let them just have the good games that they can play. And if they play really well, we'll blow a team out. But if not, we will have sustainable success on the defensive end that keeps us in the game. But alas, we seem to enjoy not having good defensive output. We seem to enjoy putting our best players through Hades. I don't get it. Moving on to the next key statistic, free throw creation. The team that fouls more people than anybody in the whole league is the Detroit Pistons. Yet we only had 17 total free throws. Again, the offense is supposed to get better when we play Kispert and we play Landale. That didn't seem to happen in a lot of the statistics. We had less total assists than they did. Again, only 31 assists tonight. What happened to that offense getting better with those guys on the floor? Honestly, looking at the 5 key statistics, again, rim percentage, shooting percentage, free throw creation, assist to turnover, and rebounding, we only won one of them. And that was rebounding. We lost in field goal percentage and rim percentage and free throw creation and turnover and assist ratio. How do you win that game? Because you have a superstar player make some superstar plays in the second and fourth quarter to really help you win. But we did not have a successful showing tonight. And the entirety of the reason why was the rotations. Now, moving to the player by player. Gabe Vincent is who we're going to start with. We've talked enough about Mo. We've talked enough about Zach. I'll just read their stat lines. Mo only had 1 minute. He didn't record a single stat, but he was +5. Zach played 9 minutes. He had 2 points on 1 of 3 shooting. He had 3 rebounds and finished +9. The dude's +9 in 9 minutes. Might want to play him more than he did. Now, Gabe Vincent played 11 minutes. He had 8 points on 3 of 6 shooting, 2 of 4 from 3, 1 rebound, 2 steals, and finished +12. He single-handedly saved the game in the third quarter. Made a couple of huge shots, created a couple of huge turnovers, kept us in the game in a time where it was going really bad. And again, my rotation for the playoffs would be the 5 starters: Kuminga, Zach, Mo, and Gabe Vincent. Because Gabe Vincent's a veteran, and when things aren't going well, he can help you. And that is what he did tonight. And I was very happy to see that. Next, we're going to talk about Corey Kispert. So he played 12 minutes. He had 5 points on 1 of 5 shooting, 1 of 4 from 3, 4 rebounds, 2 assists with 1 turnover, didn't have a steal or a block. Finished +5. But again, he was on the floor for that +11, +12 stretch for CJ McCollum, or for Gabe Vincent. So really, he was -7 because Gabe Vincent went on that run by himself. The defense is bad. It's been bad. It's not getting better. Stop playing him. Thank you. Moving on, we're going to talk about Jock Landale. So in 28 minutes, Jock Landale had 5 points on 2 of 5 shooting, 1 of 4 from 3. He did have 10 rebounds, but he had 2 assists, 1 turnover, did not record a steal or a block, and finished +1. So again, he's playing on the floor when we're making these runs. He's playing on the floor during the entire overtime when we won. He was playing during the comeback in the fourth quarter. So how bad was his plus-minus for the rest of the game? Not in that little stretch with Gabe Vincent, and not during the comeback in the fourth quarter, and not in the overtime period. It was pitiful. The defense is bad, and it's not getting better. So stop playing that guy. It does not make sense. Moving on to the last guy off the bench, Jonathan Kuminga played 20 minutes. He had 8 points on 3 of 9 shooting, not great efficiency, 1 of 4 from 3. He missed 2 free throws, would have helped his efficiency a lot if he had made those. He had 5 rebounds, 1 assist with 2 turnovers and a steal, and finished +3. It's been a little bit lackluster in the last week and a half or so for Jonathan, but I do still think that he looks a little bit gimpy on that leg. And overall, the defense has been pretty good, and he seems to be giving huge effort. He gets kind of lost in the shuffle right now. I think he also looks a little bit unconfident on where he's supposed to be in certain sets. And so I think as he learns the offense a little better and he continues to, play the good defense he's been playing, get a little bit more healthy in that leg, I think we'll continue to see better outcomes from Kuminga. But he just doesn't look truly at himself right now, and it's not hurting us because, again, the defense and the rebounding have been very, very good. Now moving to the starters. So we're going to start with Onyeka. Onyeka fouled out of tonight's game, got in some foul trouble. They berate the rim, and so he just got, he was challenging some shots and got some fouls. But he had 11 points in 24 minutes. He was 4 of 6 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3. He had 1 rebound, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 steals, and finished -5. Again, the starters were not amazing in tonight's game, but the big minus came in that run in the second quarter, at the start of the third quarter, where they kind of stormed back. We had been up as big as 21, and at halftime it was 18, and they basically brought it all the way back to tied in 6 minutes. And in that 6-minute stretch, all of the starters plus minuses kind of got messed up. So it's not really indicative of how they played in general. But I do think that Onyeka overall was fine. Just the fouls were a little bit of a problem. Moving on, we're going to talk about Dyson Daniels. So Dyson played 43 minutes. He had 16 points on 8 of 14 shooting, 13 rebounds, 4 assists with 4 turnovers. Wasn't amazing turnover assist ratio, but he did have 2 steals and a block and finished minus 11. Again, when you have that minus 18 during that one stretch, he really was like plus 7 for the game in his true actual performance. But the plus minus gets a little skewed there. Dyson was his normal fantastic self. Did make a 3 tonight. I really hope that we can continue to get his 3-point shot looking good. But overall, he's been playing very, very well and continued that trend today. Moving on, we're going to talk about Nickeil Alexander-Walker. So Naw played 40 minutes. He had 21 points on 9 of 18 shooting, 3 of 10 from 3. He had 4 rebounds, 3 assists with only 1 turnover. Didn't have a steal or a block, but was a net 0. So still, even with that horrible run in the third quarter, was a net 0. That's how good he played for the rest of the game. Again, he drastically affects winning and is playing at an all-star level, playing at a most improved player level, playing at a all-defensive level, playing at a could get all-NBA votes if he continues to put up the numbers and the production he's been putting up kind of level. And that's exciting. I'm really happy for Naw. He seems like a really good guy and has obviously put in a ton of work. When he came in the league, he was one of the worst players I've ever seen. And now he is a very, very good player in the NBA. Moving on, second to last, we're going to talk about CJ McCollum. So CJ played 35 minutes. He had 27 points on 10 of 21 shooting, 5 of 12 from 3. He had 1 rebound, 5 assists with 4 turnovers. He did have a steal and finished minus 16. Again, the stint in the third quarter really hurt his plus minus. He was very helpful offensively for pretty much the whole night. The offense does not click at the level it did without CJ. And quite honestly, we lose the game without his offensive production tonight. And the defense was fine. It wouldn't be such a big deal if we weren't playing those other players with such horrible defensive outputs. Moving on, we're going to talk about, lastly, Jalen Johnson. So Jalen played 42 minutes. He had 27 points on 9 of 18 shooting, 2 of 6 from 3, 7 of 8 from the free throw line. Being very aggressive, he had 8 rebounds, 12 assists with 5 turnovers. Not wonderful to have 5 turnovers, but when you have 12 assists, more acceptable. He didn't have a steal or a block, but he finished plus 2. Quite honestly, we get blown out without Jalen. During the second quarter, in our big run to get a pretty large lead, he was playing like the best player on the planet. He was an absolute superstar. And then in the fourth quarter, when it was coming down to it and we absolutely needed a superstar to win the game, he was a superstar to win the game. And so I'm just going to say it. If he's not an All-NBA team, I'm going to be pretty upset. He is playing at an All-NBA level. There are a lot of players that are not going to be eligible because of the 65 games rule. He's an All-NBA player. He is playing absolutely fantastic. I am very happy at really the development we've seen. I mean, to think that I was watching him during the College Park broadcast just a few years ago, and now he is one of the best players on planet Earth. Kind of undisputedly. I mean, it was getting a lot of national accolades with this being an ESPN broadcast game. And he did not disappoint. He played like a superstar. He was the biggest superstar on the floor, and that is the reason why we won. Now, moving forward, we have a very tough matchup on Friday at 7:30 against the Boston Celtics. They are playing very well, and we are playing very well. I know I'm very upset about the rotations, but overall, we are playing very well. I just want to see us play at the pinnacle of what we can. And if we play Boston at not the pinnacle of what we can, we will get blown out. Mark my words. Fix the problems that we're having, or else we will lose that game by a big margin. I don't want to see that happen, but hopefully we get it figured out before then. With that being said, please like, comment, and subscribe here on the podcast on YouTube. Also hit me up on all the socials at Atlanta Sports District with any thoughts, comments, and concerns you have about how we've been playing lately. Let me know if I'm completely off base about my thoughts on the rotation. Let me know how happy you are to see Jalen Johnson playing an all-star level at a superstar level, just like I am. And above everything else, I hope you have a great day.